All right, everybody, welcome back to the Real South Africa. We definitely have a new intro, as you can see, and we have the Harts that are now living in South Africa, and they have a story to tell. They purchased a home here in South Africa. Now, we still have the real estate tour coming up, so you have the opportunity to still get on the tour. So if I were you, I would go to the website, scroll down, and you can book the real estate tour there. And then, of course, we have our best-selling book that's doing very well on our website. You can purchase that as well if you're looking at trying to transition here to South Africa. So check it out. How's it going?
It's going. How you doing?
It is. All right, everybody. This is Mark Edward Blanton from the Real South Africa, and I'm sure you guys remember this young, vibrant couple from California. I said from California because now they're here in South Africa full time. I don't know why they did it, but they did it. Now they play and so forth. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Hopefully, they give themselves a robust introduction. So you can go ahead and start, young man.
I am Arthur Harts, Sr. And like Mark said, we're from California. We're from Paris, California. And my lovely wife, I'll let her introduce herself.
I'm Jacqueline Harts from Riverside. Retired, been here since July and loving it.
Okay.
Enjoying it.
Okay. Now let's back it up a little bit because a lot of people there hadn't seen you guys. So tell me like your journey, because I remember the first time I met you guys many moons ago. You know, how long ago was that? A year or so ago?
2021.
Yeah,
Yes.
2021 when you guys were tourists
Yes.
here in South Africa, and I think that worked out for you.
It
right?
did.
Yes.
It did. We came, we did some touristy stuff. We looked at some homes, and then we looked at some land, and we talked about it. And then we decided that, we needed to come back. So we came back a second time.
Yeah, as a tourist.
As a tourist, but this time we had plans to actually buy or build.
Okay. Well, so would you say that it did matter that you guys came here as a tourist? That did it actually matter?
It does.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
Why?
Because we knew we were familiar. Coming back, we had familiarized us with some areas, and we just kind of knew where we wanted to go and what we wanted to see. And
Okay. And so you got comfortable with being here?
Well, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
The first time was a filling out process.
Yeah.
But you guys put us up in Rosebank. It was a really nice area. We started walking and walking around the place, and every day we'd go further and further out.
Yeah.
And
When nobody's staring at you with it?
no.
Okay.
They didn't even notice us.
Yeah, exactly.
And unless we opened our mouth and started talking.
Yeah.
And then they heard the accent.
Yeah.
But other than that, we were just regular people. And it was a good thing. And we got comfortable. We liked the surroundings. We liked the area. We liked the fact that we didn't see or hear police cars.
Yeah. And honestly, you was only maybe 1 or 2 blocks over from a police station the whole time.
Yeah,
Right.
we were right around the corner from the police
Yeah.
station and never saw them
Yeah.
until we walked
And
past
the
it.
hospital. Hospital was just
A
around the
little
way as
further.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to deal with the
No.
sirens.
No.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So you would say, so now that you have, this experience and where you guys are now, do you think it makes a lot of sense to not come here as a tourist or come here at all, or just come directly here just to start living? Does that make a lot of sense?
Actually, I don't think so. Both times we came for 30 days.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get a feel for, how would it be to actually live here. So we gave ourselves enough time to get into a routine from day to day. And I think, if you come here for a week, you're shortchanging yourself, especially if you come here for a week, you're going to be impressed.
Or those that just come here and, sight unseen, and I just want to move.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to know something
You
first.
need to know something, definitely. Yes,
Yeah.
you need to know.
Yeah, and we find that it's difficult to just, go on the internet and just try to, basically get what you got while you guys were on ground. Because there are those that feel like they can just go on the internet, get all the information they need, and then they can just move. Or and
No.
it's a little.
He got information, but we looked at a number of estates, and actually we looked at some out in town that were not even a part of the estates when we were looking to build or buy.
Yeah.
So even we seen the videos of the different estates, but it was nothing like going to each estate and seeing what the environment was like.
Yeah, so you had a point of reference.
Yes.
You know, so it really matters. So, you know, people always, because we take a lot of phone calls, and they're like, well, you know, this is what's going on in the U.S., this is happening, so I just want to move there. How can I just move? And I'm like, okay, you need to come and see it.
Yes.
Just survey the land, see what's going on. Let us show you properly like we showed you guys. And with that being said, you guys have kind of transitioned kind of smoothly a little bit. Am I right?
Well, that's
It was smooth, but it was learning. I mean, it was a lot because as Americans, we just think everybody functions the way we do, and it's like that's not true.
Yeah.
Even a little bit.
So it's an adjustment. This is how we do things here in South Africa, so we have to learn that. But it was a good transition.
But I think the best thing is you guys hooked us up with some connections.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That's what smoothed the process out, because we were talking to people that had gone through the process and they walked us through the process.
Yeah.
And it made it easier than trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
definitely.
Because I don't like to try to figure it out.
Yeah, it's
I'll go to the professional and let the professional do what the professional does, because I didn't want no nonsense, and I didn't need no headaches. I didn't need the stress.
Exactly.
So I didn't come over here to get stressed out. So it's like every time I need something, I'll call you and say, hey, do you have somebody in this area? And you'll say, well, yeah, I got a guy that can do that.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because it takes the pressure off of me trying to stumble my way through it. Could I stumble my way through it? Sure, I could have, but
Painful.
it would have been painful.
Yeah. Who likes pain?
Right.
Yeah, no, there's those out there. Yeah, I'm not one of them. But no, I was saying that because, like, when you say hook up, it boiled down at some point to a phone call. But those were things that I knew that our people need, regardless if it's on the tourist side or if somebody's trying to relocate. Those are things that we knew. So we go out and make those relationships well in advance. We make the relationships of what we need. So then when you do make that call, say, hey, Mark, I'm thinking about, not a problem. I got somebody, and I have a relationship with them, or we have the relationship that where they would say, oh, they're your people. Okay, we would look out for those for your guys and whatnot. Every once in a while, I got to stop by and give them a little something, but it's okay. But we all work together to make sure everybody's good to go. Okay, so then at some point you decided to say, you know what? Because I think you came first on the when y'all finally moved over, and then you kind of lagged behind to take care of everything, right? So how was that? I mean, I know you had to see family.
Yes.
Before you left, and then of course you had to do something too. I don't know.
I had to sell the house.
Oh yeah, he had to sell the house. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I had to visit my family in New York.
Okay.
Syracuse, New York.
Okay, and then at some point you was just like, I just need to get here.
Right.
So what's this urgency? Because I know people have heard me say it, but once you've been here a few times and then you're there, there's always an urgency to get back on this side. Why is that?
Before she answers that, Mark, let's be truthful here.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
The second time here, she didn't want to leave.
I was
No, the
gonna
first time
include
you
that.
didn't want to leave.
I didn't want to
The
leave.
first time she didn't want to leave,
Yeah.
but the second time she definitely didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
She was saying, we could just call somebody and they could just sell everything.
Yeah.
And we could just stay here. And I'm like, no, we have to go back and take care of business. So
Okay.
go
The
ahead.
urgency was just that I felt home here. I felt comfortable, and I just liked the environment, the people, and everything. The food, of course, and
Yeah.
and everything, so it was like I just didn't want to leave. The first time, the second time we were in Melrose Arc, and Yeah, I kind of went into a little depression mode after we got our COVID testing and we had to get to leave. I was like, oh man, I really gotta leave.
It's so final because you're like, you have to leave, and then it's not only the fact that you have to leave, is that you're going back to where you just came from, and you're thinking, well, it was nice and everything. My house is there, but do I really want to go there, especially after the experiences that you have while you're here? So. Okay. Well, I can remember. I'll tell you my little bit of the story. I remember you guys' first trip, and it was getting close to leaving, and Arthur was talking, and he said something about something, and then you said, "Well, you can just go back, and you can take care of this, and you can take care of that, right, Mark? I could just stay here, right, Mark?" And I'm looking at you, I'm standing there saying, I feel like I'm in a bad space here. I'm uncomfortable right now. So I just say, hey, do what you feel is best. But obviously it worked out because you're here.
Yes.
Right.
Okay, cool. Now, we liked, obviously working with you guys, making sure everything worked out. And one of the things that we had to make sure, because you guys were looking at purchasing a property and staying here long term, obviously you just retired. I think you've been retired for a hot minute, and whatnot. So we wanted to assist you guys with your temporary residence visa.
Yes.
Okay, and we was able to assist you guys. How did that work out?
That worked out great for us because we got your person sent us a list of what we needed, and we sent it to her, and she sent it back to us, and we sent it had it notarized and sent it into because they weren't seeing people to LA in the consulate, so we had to mail it. And then what? 2-3 weeks? It was a lot sooner than we thought. Yeah. I was like,
3 weeks later,
it's back already?
Right, 3 weeks later it was done.
Yeah.
No, our people, the same person, she follows up on these things. So she calls and say, hey, what's going on? The paperwork is done proper. It's done the way it's supposed to be done. That's her background. That's what she does professionally. So we kind of rely on that. I know when I went through, I went through pains to get mine. I didn't understand the verbiage. They say one thing, okay, that makes sense, and I bring it, and then they say no. And then because the whole thing, we don't want your stuff to fall into rejection status. Right. Because then that's a whole different process. So we get out in front of that. So I have my people to just literally, okay, when you guys turn your paperwork in, they give you a reference number. Yes. And then I want you to forward the reference number. Right. So then when she gets it, then she calls and say, okay. Even if there's something wrong, she can say, no, let me get that for you. And because they're speaking the same language. Right. And it works out. So, yeah, so obviously we're glad it worked out. There's a few of us running around here where it worked out. So, okay, cool. Now, at this point, you decided to say, okay, well, I'm going to relocate, and you're going to not just buy a house, because anybody could just buy a house. Well,
we did look at a lot of homes, a lot of beautiful homes. Yeah. But they didn't meet the
criteria of the Harts.
One did.
One did.
Oh, yeah.
One did.
Wall that you didn't like or something.
Well, yeah, I was going to remodel it, but 2 weeks before we came back, I was going to put an offer in. And I said, well, in 2 weeks I'll be there. Yeah. And when we got here, because we had been looking at this house for the whole year. We had the plans. We had looked at the house, and it was like, this is it. This is the house. We're gonna renovate it. We're gonna do it like this. And and I should have put the offer in, because when I got here, your realtor told me, oh, somebody put an offer in 2 weeks ago. We mentioned the address. She's like, that's no longer available. She says, yeah, they're going to accept it. And I said, could I ask how much they offered? And they offered exactly what I was going to offer. And I was like, oh well, I should have did it, but I didn't. Yes. And so then that put us back on the trail of having to look at land. Yeah. And that was fine, because I think it was meant to be. Yeah. Because, we looked, and we looked at some beautiful spots. Yeah. But I think we ended up with the best one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, guys, we're going to show you just the stand, or we call it in the States we call it
lot.
A lot, yeah.
You don't even remember?
I don't even remember the States, but here we call it a stand, and so we definitely gonna show you the stand, and they'll just kind of, and then we're gonna show you what's around it too, so you can kind of have a good idea of what we're actually talking about. Now, let's be honest. Like, you somebody, I'm gonna be honest. Like, you know, all this is happening, and I mean, we're not like uber wealthy people. We're just people.
Yeah.
I would say middle of the road Americans, the African Americans, that just made a different choice.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Okay. You want to add to that? Because like you.
No, I don't want to add to it. I mean, we're just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, we worked for so many years. We retired, but we did the right thing with our money.
Yeah.
And so it afforded us, you know, even back in the States, we had a decent life.
Yeah.
You know, we had a decent life, and we would have been okay. But I came here, and everything changed.
What does that mean?
Well, let's say we were middle of the road,
Yeah.
and then we went up a notch or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like what my money does here.
Just trying to tell you.
I like what my money does here.
But no, it's a good situation, you know, for all of us that do, you know, make the option to come here. But again, you have to come here as a tourist. Let us take care of you.
Yes.
Get you here. Make sure everything is good, and then you can start making options. You can't go from sitting on your couch right now, seeing Arthur on the video, and then next week I'm going to do what he doing. You know, Arthur put in a little effort. You know, He had to actually sell his house. You know, and so forth.
I didn't have to.
Well, you didn't have to, but you know.
But I didn't want to have anything in California.
Okay.
I got kids there, and they need to leave. but that's it.
Okay. Cool. So what we're gonna do now? I'm gonna show you around where we are. All right. Let me show you guys where we are. And this is gonna be his neighbor.
Kind of, sort of.
It'd be your neighbor. Yeah, kind of, sort of, kind of at the corner. And that's just across the way over there, which is pretty cool. And then right over there is the golf course. So they're going to be right on the golf course. They're going to be building right on the golf course. But this is where they're going to be. And these are just average people from California. But before we get to the stand, I want to show you how this little car that they don't bought. This is Jackie's whip right here. Tell them, Jackie.
Cherry Tico for.
Yeah, they don't even have these in the States, but she bought it and the price was right. I think.
Oh yes.
Tell me about
Price
it.
is right.
The price was real right.
Yeah.
Once again, your connection helped through that process.
Wait a minute, there was a connection?
That is a process
Yes.
for a non-citizen of this country to buy a car. It is a process that. If somebody just coming here thinking they're gonna walk into a car place and buy a car, it's a different story than that.
Yeah.
So but it was good. Yes, your connection.
Yeah, we did have we do because we know people gonna need cars, so we got somebody that takes care of those things, you know. So I have teams of people, but yeah, this is a pretty good little car. Let me go around it. Yeah, but this is a little SUV, and I think you said the pricing was pretty decent on this, right?
Oh yeah, this car was cheap.
Yeah. But it does all the stuff.
But it does what it needs to do.
It does everything.
Yeah. So they seem to be happy with it.
I'm very happy.
Yeah, I know. I've been seeing you cruising around Blue Valley. I see. Okay, so now we're gonna walk over here, and I'm just gonna show you guys. This is where they got their land, right here. And
He told me not. He told me not to trip.
land. Come on over here and tell me about this land.
Well, it was the third one we put an offer in. The first one we offered, the owner actually went up on the price on us.
Oh,
Yeah.
And the second,
that guy.
right? And the second one, they didn't want to go with our offer.
Right.
The day we found this one, so we didn't.
We didn't really want them to go with our offer.
Right.
Because we wanted this one, and so they countered. And you know, the offer expired at 12 noon. So when they countered, they came really close to what we wanted to give them. And then I went back and said, no, I'm going to hold with what I offer. And he had like a minute to respond. and when he didn't, which I purposely did it that way because I wanted what we were standing on right now, because it was everything that we wanted. I mean, we're sitting on the 16th hole, and and it's like we're right on the fairway on the 16th hole.
One neighbor behind us.
We have one neighbor.
Yeah. So now, if you was looking at this type of situation, where you come from? Like in multiples, how much more would it cost than what you actually had to plot down for this?
For the land?
Yeah.
I'd probably have to pay close to $250,000, $300,000
for the land.
for the land.
Yeah.
On a golf course, I would have said.
Well, it just depends. It depends on where you are.
Yeah, because you have a golf course.
If you go up into Orange County, LA, you're talking $1 million, $1.5 million,
Yeah.
somewhere around there.
Yeah. You got this considerably less.
Yes.
Oh yeah, way less.
Okay.
It was change.
But yeah, so we're gonna go out here. And matter of fact, that's his neighbor over there. He's over here watering his grass.
Let's go put him in the video.
Yeah, on his acres. Yeah, and that's his house. We'll put right there. Yeah. But yeah, so this is what it's gonna be. And I think you have plans already, right?
I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can show those.
And they're soon to be approved.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we do have plans. Plans have been approved. Matter of fact, we signed off on the last document today.
Okay, great.
We got the deed to the land a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So that's paid for. And when the house is finished, it'll be paid off.
Okay.
And, it'll belong to us. Just
That's a good
us.
plan.
It is.
So the sun went down, but our house would face this direction, so we could sit on the front porch and get the sunset, and then we could
Get the sunrise in the morning.
get sunrise in the back of the house toward the golf course in the
Yeah.
morning.
You can see the 16 holes.
Yes.
And we're at the end of a cul-de-sac, so we won't have cars coming by. So this was the best lot that we looked at.
Actually, you're standing in the driveway right now.
Oh, we're actually in the driveway.
There's a big iron gate right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's all right. That is all right. I don't know what else to say. So, but it did help having some professionals helping you.
Oh,
Definitely.
it definitely
The
helped.
professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can iron out things for you, make sure you're not.
Oh yeah. There was a team effort. And I always like to say, and I got this from my pastor, we're stronger together. So, you plus your team and us made the thing come together.
Yes.
And, I always tell people, we're always stronger together. Anytime you're going to do anything, surround yourself with people that do what they do and let them do it.
The experts.
And don't nickel and dime yourself to death.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. The headache is not worth it.
I will agree.
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you there have been those that's come here that's trying to do it on their own, and then they end up running into some issues, and then in the back of their mind they remember the real South Africa, and then they like, hey, well maybe we can call those people to solve our problem, and at this point you've already created problems. It's very difficult to undo. So I think it's best to do what you guys did. At least I think.
I think so too. Because if we just get calls, come sign this paper, come do this, it's like, okay, fine.
It's easy to go do that.
Yeah.
Just go sign this. Thank you.
Yep. So I think what you got, about half an acre, you think?
They give it to us in square meters, so I'm not sure.
It's
square meters, I don't know. But
It's
13,
14.
14.
that's about a full acre.
Yeah, it's all the way over to the fence.
Yeah, over the fence line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you guys are what they call living the American dream, but I'm going to convert that into the South African dream.
Okay.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You in Africa.
we started, the plan started out, well, we already had the plans when we were in America, and it was, 5,000 square feet. And, we got over here, we got with another architect. They had to redo the design because it has to fit the aesthetics of the golf course. And so now we ended up with almost 7,000 square feet.
Whoa.
on a single level.
That's massive.
Yeah, not really, but I mean,
room for
compared
to come visit.
but compared to our neighbor, no, that's not massive. It's massive because it's on a single level.
Yeah,
and and all of theirs are 3 and 4 stories.
Yeah.
And we could have did that. We saw a beautiful home. It was 3 stories, had a elevator and all of that. But I want to stay level and see we still get a view. And if we get a neighbor behind us, which we will eventually, could be one of you guys.
Could be.
You can build up a 2-story house, look right over our house, and keep right on living.
You're fine with that, huh?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
So let me ask you this. So, I mean, obviously, you guys put in your time, whatever that means. So do you feel like you just, like, sometimes people feel like they don't deserve something because they're like, that's like too much or too whatever. Do you feel like you deserve what you have bought into?
Well, I'm going to get a little biblical on you right now, Mark, and I'm going to take you to John 10:10, where Jesus said, I came that you might have life and have life to the full until it overflows. It's overflowing. And we're blessed, and I'm not going to deny that.
And I just thank God every morning just for the privilege to live here, South Africa, enjoy life, and,
I mean, this is what all Americans are supposed to be able to enjoy, but they can't. Not because they don't want to. I think it's because they get stuck
in
programs and different things like that. And it's like, I'm so glad that we decided to make the move here. Like she said, I thank God every morning. I thank him every night. Yeah. But not just for what he has done, but for the people he has placed in our lives.
Yeah.
And just like, when she first got here, she said, I feel like I'm at home. And I feel that too. Nobody's a stranger. Right. That's one of the things that you told us, that when we meet people, they just gonna, they become family. Yeah. And it has been.
Cool. And then of course there was Asha taking me around. When she was taking me around the month before he came and showing me all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm not gonna remember this. But it's so funny because when I drive, it's like, it kind of gives me placement for where I am, because I remember I've been there before and I recognize different things. So that was good. And just, like you had us over, just the community that we were already feeling here with the friends that we made and the daughter we adopted. And
So like you got some people that's like, they've been in their communities. They don't really know anybody in their community. They've just been there so long and they're familiar where the Walmart is.
Right.
And they know where the Chili's is. And sometimes that holds them there, or it's an anchor.
It's comfort zone.
But they can find that same thing right here.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. Everything that's in America is here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, it always starts with a visit.
You see it,
And once you come on the visit, and you be like, they're here? They're here?
Be shocked if you've ever had anybody that came and visit that did not want to really stay here.
Yeah, everybody, honestly, every single person that we've had here wants to, at some point, live here. And so some people come on, they're they obviously got commitments at home. Yeah. But they're like, I'm sure they're here on vacation as much as possible.
Yes.
And they come here and they totally forgot about going to Mexico. They totally forgot about all these other places that they were going. They're like, why would I go anywhere else? And so if you say something about going somewhere else, they look at you funny. Yeah, so this is cool. Yeah, I really don't know what to tell you as far as you guys being here. I just think that making that jump to being here is something.
It is something.
Yeah, because people are just afraid, and I tell people all the time. I say you don't have to commit to, in your first trip, commit to coming to being in South Africa full time.
Right.
But you do gotta, at least, if you see what Arthur is doing, and you see what Jack is doing, and that's something that you want to do, then I'm gonna say the best thing for you to do,
visit.
Come here as a tourist. We can assist you in some things. We can't help you with everything. Like, I'm gonna give you a good example. Like, we have people who call and they tell us their story, and then they're like, okay, but if I come, I want to just tell them to visit. If I come, I I want to start a business. I want to find a house. I want to find a schools. I want to do this. And I'm like, and I asked him, I said, do you do that when you go to Jamaica? You go to enjoy.
Right.
Do you do that when you go to the Bahamas? I said, so why would you put all that pressure on South Africa? You know, why? Because it's an African nation? I don't know. All I can say is, yes, at some point that will happen, but you have to come here. And like you said, you know, when you first got here, Asha was taking you around, and then eventually you start taking yourself around, and you just, it will all happen in time.
Yeah.
It will all happen. And 2 years from now, you will be a pro runner. You might know Centurion by then.
We're still trying to figure out Centurion, Midget, Cosmodale, Taswani.
Yeah.
You know, all of it's like, okay, whatever. We look at the signs and go, I thought we were in Centurion already.
So I just, you know, when people ask me, where do you live? I'm like,
South Africa.
I live in South Africa.
Yeah.
You know, but if I want to get specific, I say Blue Valley.
Yeah,
And then
everybody knows Blue Valley.
Everybody knows Blue Valley. And I'm like, okay, I know where you are. Okay, good, because I'm just finding out where I am.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's interesting time. So like I said, I'm glad that you guys have, you know, came out and kind of explained to people what you guys are doing. You know, sometimes it's personal. Some people don't want people to know what they're doing. You know how we are in the States because we trying to hide from everything.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hide.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. But here I feel free. So I'm like, if you know, obviously you feel free. And so maybe as this journey is going on, I know you said you're cutting the ground real soon.
Yes. In about 3 weeks, they said.
Yeah.
So we'll be documenting this.
Yes.
She'll be here daily.
I'll bring a little blanket and just
There you go. There you go.
So,
watch.
Yeah, because basically what they did was they rented a home here in Blue Valley, nice little spot, you know, and which is good because if you're going to build, you want to come and make sure everything is okay on a regular basis and whatnot. So, yeah, you guys are doing the most, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to look at this and say, you know what, I can do that too. And I think the biggest thing I want you guys maybe to explain, since you're closer to retirement than I am in age, you know, because I'm only 53. You guys are a little older. Just a tad, just a little bit, couple days, 5 days. Yeah, 5 days.
no, I'm a lot older.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I ain't want to bust you out.
That's okay. I'm 63, headed to 64, and I'm excited about it.
Okay.
And I'm 58.
Hopefully I get there one day.
You will.
I don't know, man. The other day, but anyway. But no, I was thinking because a lot of our people, and I pause, a lot of our people who have worked as teachers, firefighters, military. You was military at one point. You was a Marine.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I was Army, so you know.
Hoorah,
Yeah.
Marine Corps.
Yeah. Ooh. Anyway, with that being said, you know, could take advantage of this, of a situation where they can come to South Africa. They don't actually have to, you know, go as grandiose as you guys are. But there's, like, even where you guys are renting, can you imagine, like, a retired school teacher living in something like that? I mean, it's plenty.
Yes.
Plenty.
Yes.
And you can fix it up nice and, and make it yours and live comfortable.
Yes.
You know, versus, you know, working third job, you know, still deciding on what bill to pay, what bill not to pay. I mean, we know what's going on in our community.
Yes.
You know, and so this is just, I think, another option. Tell me what you think.
Well, you're right. It is another option because, you know, even though we stopped paying Bill a long time ago. We got rid of him a long time ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always urge people to get debt free. Here, your money goes a lot further. You know, I've run into people here living off of Social Security, and they live well.
Yeah.
I mean, well. And, you know, I'm like, wow, that's, in the States, you know, it's like, you know, my mom was on Social Security, and, you know, I supplemented her.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to supplement, you know, people in the States.
Yeah.
Because the cost of living is really expensive, you know, and even though we live in California, most of the people that I know that retired, they moved down south so that they could afford to live a little better.
Yeah.
And, you know, here, please, I'm not gonna put my business in the street, but what we paying to build this house,
It wouldn't happen.
it wouldn't happen in California. Yeah, I'd have needed about $6 million.
Yeah.
I don't need even close to that here. And it's good. It's good. I mean, it's really good. I mean, if you're thinking about it, come visit.
Just come
Just come
see.
visit. You'll make up your mind after your visit, but
Yeah.
don't come for a week.
Yeah.
Take 30 days, unless you have one of them. Unless you have one of them JLBs.
You gotta do the-
You know that just over broke. You know that thing you keep running back to. I ain't mad at you. I had one for almost 40 years.
Yeah.
You can't pay me to work one now.
So, people, like I said, we're going to continue to, show the progress, show so you can see what's going on. But our opportunities, they might not be the ones that you can think of, being in the U.S. But when you come here, you would see them for yourself. I can't explain it to you because if I tried to, you wouldn't understand exactly what I'm saying. But again, you have to actually come here. But of course, the Real South Africa, we're available. You can always hit us up on our website, therealsouthafrica.com, and we will see you here in sunny South Africa.
Peace.
Spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things the Real South Africa. Thanks again.